She signed the papers with shaking hands, tears falling on the table. While everyone around her laughed and drank champagne, nobody stopped. Nobody asked if she was okay. And her husband? He was across the room smiling. That night, he thought he had won. He had no idea what was coming. This is the story of Maya, a woman who was pushed to her lowest point in front of everyone. She knew, humiliated, dismissed, treated like she was nothing. But what her husband Daniel never bothered to find out, in 5 years of marriage, was her last name. Not really, not what it meant. And by the time he figured it out, it was already too late. Maya had always been quiet. Not the shy kind of quiet, the kind where a person has so much going on inside that they just stop trying to explain themselves to people who wouldn't understand anyway. She grew up being driven to school in a black car with tinted windows, but she never told anyone why. She wore simple clothes. She paid for her own coffee. She never posted about her life online. When people asked what her father did for work, she would smile and say business. That was it. Just business. She met Daniel at a company event 6 years ago. He was charming, funny, the kind of man who could make a whole room laugh. Maya fell for it completely. Within a year, they were married. Within 2 years, she started noticing the cracks. He talked over her at dinner. He forgot her birthday twice. He made big decisions without asking her. Small things at first, the kind of things you convince yourself are nothing. But nothing has a way of adding up. By year 4, Daniel had stopped pretending. He came home late without explanation. He spoke to her like she was an employee he was losing patience with. He told her, more than once, that she was lucky to have him, that without him, she would have nothing. And Maya, who had learned from childhood to stay calm, to not react, to think before she spoke, she stayed quiet. She kept the peace. She held it all inside. What Daniel did not know was that Maya had been quietly calling a lawyer for 3 months. Now here is where the Christmas party comes in, and this part is important. The company Daniel worked for threw a big end-of-year party. A nice hotel ballroom, open bar, the whole thing. Maya came with him because she always came with him. She stood by his side, smiled at the right moments, made small talk with people whose names she could never remember. Normal, routine. Then Daniel pulled her aside. Not to a private room, not somewhere quiet. Right there, near the edge of the dance floor, with people 2 tables away. He put an envelope on the table in front of her and said, loud enough for people nearby to hear, I think we both know this isn't working. Sign it tonight. I want this done before the new year. Divorce papers. At the Christmas party, in public. People noticed. They looked over. Some looked away quickly. Some kept watching. Nobody said a word to stop it. Maya looked at the envelope. She looked at Daniel, and for a long moment she said nothing. Then she opened the envelope, took the pen he had placed next to it, and she signed. Her hands were shaking. Tears dropped on the paper. Not loud crying, not a scene, just quiet tears. The kind that come when a person has already done all their grieving in private. And this moment is just the final confirmation of something they already knew was over. Daniel looked satisfied, almost proud of himself. What happened next he did not see coming. Maya slid the papers back across the table. She wiped her face with the back of her hand. She straightened her jacket, and then she took out her phone and made a call. Right there at the table, Daniel laughed a little, confused, watching her. The call lasted maybe 40 seconds. She said almost nothing, just yes tonight, thank you. Then she put her phone down and looked at him calmly. You should go enjoy the party, she said. It might be the last one you attend in this building. Daniel thought she was being dramatic. He walked away. He got another drink. The next morning, Daniel came into work and found a meeting. Request from the company's board of directors. Urgent. His name was on it. When he walked into that conference room, there were 3 people he had never seen before sitting at the table. Lawyers. And at the far end of the table, there was an older man, white hair, expensive watch, very calm, who introduced himself simply. He was Maya's father, and he was also, as Daniel was about to learn, the majority shareholder of the company Daniel had worked at for the past 8 years. The same company Daniel had bragged about at dinner parties, the same company whose name was on his business cards, owned in large part by the family of the woman he had just handed divorce papers to at a Christmas party. Now, here is where people always ask, did Maya plan this? Did she know her father would step in? The answer is no. Maya had not called her father to punish Daniel. She had called him because she needed to tell someone. She loved that it was finally done, that she had signed, that she was okay. Her father was the one who decided the rest, because that is what fathers do. When someone humiliates their child in a room, full of people and smiles about it. The meeting was not long. Daniel was informed that his contract would not be renewed. Nothing illegal, nothing dramatic, just a quiet end to a career he had spent a decade building. The lawyers handled the paperwork. Different paperwork this time, and by noon it was done. Daniel called Maya 14 times that day. She answered once. "You told me I would have nothing without you," she said. "I just wanted you to know that I will be fine." Then she hung up. In the weeks that followed, people who had been at that Christmas party, the ones who watched and said nothing, started putting pieces together. They looked up Maya's last name. They found the company website. They found the annual reports. They found a photo of her father at a charity event 3 years ago. And there she was standing next to him, in a simple dress looking completely unbothered. She had been there the whole time, just quiet. Maya did not post about any of this. She did not give interviews. She moved into a smaller apartment, smaller than what she could have had, and went back to the work she actually cared about, which was running a small education, nonprofit that helped kids in low-income areas get access to books and tutoring. She had started it 4 years ago. Daniel had called it her little hobby. That hobby had helped over 3,000 children by the end of that year. The last thing anyone heard about Daniel was that he had started a podcast about relationships and success. It had 11 subscribers. The last episode was titled How to Know Your Worth. Here is the thing about Maya's story that stays with you. It is not really about revenge. She did not plan a takedown. She did not wait years to destroy someone. She just quietly became okay, and in doing so, she showed everyone around her exactly who she had always been. The people who underestimate quiet people always make the same mistake. They think silence means weakness. They think calm means afraid. They see someone who does not argue back, and they think they have won something. They never think to ask, why isn't she fighting back? Sometimes the answer is because she does not need to.